A fearless Biafran man exposes Simon Ekpa's enemies and those trying to sabotage the efforts of the movement. Some so-called members in the cycle are envious of Ngozi Orab's position as the deputy of Simon Ekpa and wants to tear down the struggle of the movement. According to him, leaders can emerge through appointment based on qualifications or by naturally gaining influence within a group. Effective leaders should develop communication, decision-making, empathy, and the ability to inspire others. He emphasizes that true leadership requires the support of spiritual forces and ancestors. A leader appointed by a recognized authority figure carries the spirit and backing of that authority. The relationship between Elijah and Elisha is cited to illustrate the transfer of spiritual authority. He criticizes individuals who assume leadership without proper appointment or spiritual backing. He defended Ngozi Orab, a woman appointed by Simon Ekpa to lead the Biafra movement in his absence, highlighting her leadership qualities and spiritual backing. He urges Biafrans to reflect on past actions and recognize errors in the leadership struggle. He condemns internal conflicts and urges unity among members. It was a regular day, but something was stirring in the air. The Biafran movement, a cause that had been fought for with sweat and blood, was facing yet another storm. This time, however, the battle wasn't with outsiders. It was from within. A fearless Biafran, a man who had seen the highs and lows of this struggle, decided it was time to speak up. He had watched in silence as people who claimed to be part of the movement worked against it, pretending to be allies while planting seeds of discord. And now he was ready to expose them. For years, the Biafran movement had been led by Simon Ekpa, a man who stood strong in the face of adversity. Simon Ekpa had a clear vision and had gathered people who shared in the dream of Biafra's independence. Among these people was Ngozi Orab, a woman of wisdom, resilience, and courage. Simon Ekpa had appointed her as his deputy, believing in her abilities to steer the ship in his absence. But not everyone was pleased with her position. Jealousy is a dangerous thing. Some individuals who had once claimed to be part of the movement were not happy with Ngozi Orab's appointment. They wanted power for themselves, and they were willing to go to any length to get it, even if it meant tearing down everything the movement had built. The fearless Biafran who had decided to speak out was not just any man. He was someone who understood leadership, someone who knew what it took to build a cause and sustain it. He had seen different kinds of leaders emerge, some through appointment, chosen by those in power because of their qualifications, and others who naturally gained influence within a group due to their skills and ability to inspire people. He reminded everyone that true leadership isn't just about sitting in a position of power. It's about communication, decision-making, empathy, and the ability to bring people together. A leader must have the wisdom to make tough decisions, the heart to understand the people, and the strength to inspire them toward a common goal. More importantly, he emphasized that real leadership comes with spiritual backing. He made it clear that every true leader is chosen not just by people, but by forces beyond human understanding. In Biafra's case, the spirits of the ancestors played a role. A leader without spiritual backing is like a tree without roots, weak, unstable, and easily destroyed. He drew a powerful comparison from the Bible, speaking about the relationship between Elijah and Elisha. Elijah, a great prophet, was about to be taken away, and Elisha, his faithful follower, knew he needed the spiritual backing to continue Elijah's work. Elisha didn't just assume leadership, he sought the blessing of his master. He asked for a double portion of Elijah's spirit, knowing that without it, he wouldn't be able to carry on the mission. Elijah, being a wise man, told him that if he could see him being taken away by the chariots of fire, then he would receive the double portion of his spirit. And when the time came, Elisha witnessed it, and he received what he asked for. This, the fearless Biafran explained, was exactly what people failed to understand. Leadership isn't something you just take for yourself. It has to be given both by people and by the spirits that guide them. And that was exactly why Ngozi Orabweze was the right choice. She didn't force herself into the position, she was appointed. And with that appointment came the spiritual backing that was necessary for her to succeed. But those who opposed her didn't care about that. They were blinded by envy and personal ambition. Instead of working together for the cause, they focused on trying to bring her down. They spread lies, created confusion, and tried to convince others that she was unfit to lead. The fearless Biafran was disappointed. He had seen too many internal conflicts in the struggle. He had watched as good leaders were sabotaged by those who were supposed to support them. He had seen history repeat itself over and over again, and he knew that if they didn't stop now, they would only be hurting themselves. He called on Biafrans everywhere to reflect on the past. He reminded them of their mistakes, urging them to learn from them instead of repeating them. He warned them that internal conflicts had always been one of the greatest weaknesses of any struggle, and if they didn't find a way to unite, their enemies would continue to take advantage of their divisions. He urged them to look at Ngozi Orabweze for who she truly was, a leader with the skills, wisdom, and spiritual backing to take the movement forward. He reminded them of her qualifications, her dedication, and the many times she had proven herself. He recalled how she had gone to Germany, carrying out an assignment that was crucial to the movement. She didn't return with a biased report. She told the truth as it was. And because of her honesty and integrity, Simon Ekpa reinstated Pastor Rose, who had been unfairly pushed out by those who wanted to overthrow her. That alone showed the kind of leader she was, someone who stood for truth and justice even when it wasn't convenient. But as always, when a leader stands out, enemies will rise. People who feel threatened by their competence will try to destroy them. And that was exactly what was happening. The fearless Biafran didn't hold back. He addressed those who were behind the sabotage. He asked them why they were so desperate to remove Ngozi Orabweze. Was it because she was a woman? Was it because she was more capable than them? Or was it because they simply couldn't stand the idea of someone else leading when they had dreams of power themselves? He pointed out that the very people spreading lies about Ngozi Orabweze had no real leadership qualities of their own. They lacked the ability to inspire, to unite, and to solve problems. All they knew how to do was complain, gossip, and tear others down. He reminded them that Simon Ekpa had never given them the authority to challenge his decision. Simon Ekpa had not asked them to appoint another leader. Simon Ekpa had not told them to raise a memo against Ngozi Orabweze. So why were they doing it? The truth was clear. They were acting out of selfishness, not out of concern for the movement. And in doing so, they were playing right into the hands of the true enemies of Biafra. The fearless Biafran called on all true supporters of the movement to stay focused. He urged them not to be distracted by those who wanted to cause division. He emphasized that protecting the mandate of Biafra should be their top priority. He reminded them that every instruction Simon Ekpa had given had spiritual backing. Every decision he made carried weight beyond what people could see. If they truly believed in the struggle, then they had to trust the process. As he spoke, his words carried power. He wasn't just talking, he was awakening something in the hearts of those who listened. He was reminding them of why they started this struggle in the first place. It wasn't about personal ambition. It wasn't about power games. It was about freedom, about justice, about reclaiming what rightfully belonged to them. He knew that not everyone would listen. Some people were too deep in their envy and bitterness to change. But he also knew that those who truly cared about the movement would hear him. And so he ended with a call to action. He told Biafrans everywhere to rise above the petty fights, to stand strong in unity, and to focus on the bigger picture. The enemies of Biafra were already waiting for them to fail. They couldn't afford to give them what they wanted. The fearless Biafran had spoken. Now it was up to the people to decide whether they would listen. The fearless Biafran stood there for a moment, watching the faces of those around him. Some looked deep in thought, others seemed restless, and a few exchanged glances as if they had been caught in the act. He knew that what he had said was not easy to digest. The truth never is. But he also knew that if they truly cared about the movement, they would have no choice but to reflect on his words. He had been part of the struggle for too long to remain silent while people played dangerous games. He had seen how division had weakened past movements, how greed and personal ambitions had turned brothers against brothers, and how external enemies had used their internal conflicts as a weapon against them. He took a deep breath and continued, his voice steady but firm. You see, Biafra is not just a name. It is not just a movement. It is a destiny. It is the dream of a people who have suffered for too long and are tired of living as second-class citizens in a land that should be theirs. Biafra is a calling, and not everyone who joins the movement truly understands what it means. He looked around again, making sure that every word sank in. Some of you think this is a game. You think this is a battle for positions, for titles, for recognition. But let me remind you, Biafra is bigger than any one person. It is bigger than Simon Ekpa. It is bigger than Ngozi Orab, and it is certainly bigger than those of you who are working behind the scenes to create division. He let that sink in before going on. If you truly believe in Biafra, then you must understand that leadership is not about favoritism. It is not about putting someone in power just because they are your friend or because you want something in return. Leadership is about competence. It is about vision. It is about having the wisdom, the strength, and the ability to lead people in the right direction. And that is why Ngozi Orab was chosen. He paused, letting the murmurs in the crowd die down before continuing. Simon Ekpa did not wake up one morning and decide to appoint Ngozi Orab just for the fun of it. No, he saw something in her, something that many of you refuse to acknowledge because of your jealousy. He saw leadership. He saw capability. He saw someone who could carry the weight of this movement and move it forward, even in his absence. He saw someone who had the spiritual backing necessary to lead. And if you know anything about true leadership, you would understand that without the blessing of the spirits, no leader can succeed. Some people nodded in agreement, while others sat with their arms crossed, unwilling to accept what was being said. But the Fearless Biafran was not done. Let me remind you of something from history. Do you remember what happened when Moses led the Israelites out of Egypt? He was chosen by God, just as Ngozi Orab has been chosen for this task. But even then, there were people who rebelled against him. People like Korah, Dathan, and Abiram who wanted to challenge Moses' leadership. What happened to them? The earth swallowed them up because they were working against the divine order. He took a step forward, his voice filled with passion. You might think that your actions are going unnoticed. You might think that spreading lies, planting confusion, and trying to weaken the leadership of this movement will go without consequences. But let me assure you, history has a way of dealing with saboteurs, and those who work against the divine order will never escape the judgment that comes with it. A heavy silence filled the air. No one dared to speak. But for those of you who truly believe in Biafra, I urge you, do not let yourselves be distracted. Do not let the noise of the enemy confuse you. Simon Ekpa has given an instruction, and that instruction has spiritual backing. Ngozi Orab is the deputy leader. That is final. If you have any respect for the struggle, if you have any love for Biafra, then you must follow the path that has been laid out. The Fearless Biafran turned to a young man sitting at the front, someone he had seen actively supporting the movement. You, my brother, let me ask you something. When Simon Ekpa was taken in, did he tell any of you to hold elections and appoint a new leader? The young man shook his head. And did he give any of you the authority to raise a memo against Ngozi Orab? Again, the young man shook his head, this time more confidently. then why are some of you acting as if you have the right to challenge what has been divinely established? The crowd shifted uncomfortably, but the message was clear. My people, let me tell you something important. Every movement has its challenges. Every struggle faces internal and external battles. But what determines victory is how we handle these battles. If we allow division to take over, then we are only making things easier for those who want to see us fail. He took a deep breath, his voice softer now but no less powerful. We must unite. We must protect the mandate of Biafra with everything we have. We must stop allowing small disagreements to tear us apart. If we truly want freedom, then we must act like people who deserve it. He raised his hand as if making a solemn vow. I am saying this not because I want to take sides, but because I want the truth to be known. Ngozi Orab is not the enemy. Simon Ekpa is not the enemy. The enemy is out there, watching and waiting for us to destroy ourselves so they don't have to do it. And if we let that happen, then we are the ones to blame. The atmosphere had changed. The tension that had been in the air was now mixed with something else, realization. People were beginning to understand that this was bigger than personal grudges. The Fearless Biafran knew that his work was done for the day, but the real battle was just beginning. It was now up to the people to decide whether they would stand for unity or allow division to destroy what they had fought so hard for. As he turned to leave, he left them with one final thought. The world is watching. Our enemies are watching. History is watching. Choose wisely. With that, he walked away, leaving the people in deep reflection. Some would listen, some would not. But one thing was certain. Truth had been spoken, and once truth is out, it cannot be ignored.
There were two ways to choose a leader. Two ways. One, by election. Two, by appointment. This is the two known way for a leader to emerge. I want to read out something to you. Key points to remember. Developing leadership skills. Regardless of how you become a leader, actively working on communication. Actively working on communication. Decision making. Empathy and the ability to inspire others is crucial. I am going to take that part again. Key point to remember. Developing leadership skills regardless of how you become a leader. Actively working on communication, decision making, empathy, and the ability to inspire others is crucial. The ability to inspire others are the very, very crucial. Let us go and read. By two primary ways to become a leader are by being appointed or formally designated to a leadership role, such as through promotion, and by emerging as a leader within a group through demonstrating strong skills and initiatives where no formal leader is established. Essentially, being appointed and emerge as leader. This occurs when someone is chosen by an authority figure to take on a leadership position, often based on their experience, qualification, or potentials. Ekwurekwu skills. Kwuokwu motivate. You got to go down. Kwuokwu potentials, skills, potentials, qualification. Kwuokwu communication. And the Dr. Ngozi Orab said something that no bro na Maazị Ekpa manage emenwe ya, he would have appointed you to be the leader. The reason whether no mega appoint but no ma your capacity, your qualification, your skills, your ability and your capability, the area you fit on. Yeah, we told you this, madam, you must bow the surrogate, which is the deputy. There is something about leadership. Orab nke nwere onwe ya na-ekwu ihe a. Na-enwe backing of the spirit. Every leadership position. Na-enwe the backing of the spirit. Ozioma nke Chineke na-ezi. And the mobile at that hand of backing. The hand of the spirit. If the hand is not backing you, you didn't make a mistake, and there are two ways to attract that backing of the spirit. One, ije mentor, ije atari ya afufu, ije atara that leadership afufu, ije atari ya afufu. Maazị Nnamdi Kanu tara ya afufu, kana kwa atari afufu na-eje. Maazị Ekpa tara ya afufu, kana atakwa di afufu na-eje. By that afufu otara after ka iji Maazị Nnamdi Kanu, he was accepted by our people. And the spirit and the backing of our ancestors rested upon him. Obidogaba. Mbobra where the backing, what he don't speak before. So every leader with the backing of the spirit, especially in this struggle, onye nke a position onwe as acting ke mmụọ na-aba here. The spirit of Maazị Ekpa is backing Ngozi Orab that he said or he instructed to become his surrogate. The spirit of the prophet dwells with the prophet. So the spirit of Maazị Ekpa is with Ngozi Orab. Something happened in the Bible. Ije with the backing of the spirit. Ije with the back and the enemy merit. I don't know before merit the backing of the spirit. The backing of the ancestors. The backing of the bang. Something happened in the Bible. If I na tarafufu leadership, I na tarafufu. Obro itawa afu. Jesuike, madam, you must bow. Tarafufu. Maazị Ekpa understand that she have the capacity, the ability to motivate. She have the potentials. She have the skills. That was why he appointed her among many. And immediately on that appointment, the spirit that dwells with him enter, madam, you must bow. I don't know how you are going to understand it. Man, every leader, we always make like this, do like this. Redeclare Biafra. Man, before the redeclaration, she has been acting very well. She has been outspoken. She has been working. She has skills. She has qualifications, which is some characteristics that made up a leader. and o maka no nwere ya ka Maazị Ekpa ji wefusia ndị ọzọ wee mee ya and the man who mere ya the spirit of truth working with Biafrans rested upon her. Ya wetara kemgbe na o si ekwu okwu ọ pụtabeghị sị gị na Maazị Ekpa sị, whereas na Maazị Ekpa sịrọ mana those that don't have the backing of the spirit or the backing of our people talk more of the backing of the one that was leading before he was taken in. They continue telling you, Maazị Ekpa said, I spoke to Maazị Ekpa. They brought out Maazị Ekpa's ex-wife. Told her a different story entirely. Just to convince you, desperados. That alone, that they don't have the backing of our people. That they don't have the backing of the man that was in charge. That they don't have the backing of the spirit. Something happened in the Bible in the case of Elijah, and Elisha. Elisha with Elijah, the major prophets. Rugide, or notice here that Elijah will be taken. He quickly ran to him and they asked for double portion. Careful, he asked for double portion. Elijah, being a wise man, said that you have asked something that is mighty, yet not impossible. If you can see when I will be taken by the chariots of fire, you will receive the double portion that you ask for. Continue working with me. That is the only way. Elijah na arahura Elisha mwanya, because he is desperately in need of that double portion. Elijah na arahura Elisha mwanya. Elijah na eje toilet, Elisha no na do. Elijah na eri nni, Elisha no nso. Elijah na eme travel, Elisha no there. Keifo na abagarre, because some are what it takes to have double portion. Double portion. Well, and then what happened? He received it. Aka Elijah dakwasia obai ke pam. Madam, you must bow. Babambo. Kamaze baputa. Surrogate. The another instruction that came, protecting the mandate should be everything for you. It should mean everything to you. Make sure you protect the mandate. Protect this mandate. Inabo instructions. Protect this mandate. Protect this deputy. Continue the at the go as you already declared the Biafra. Continue the at the go. That was the instruction. And that instruction has spiritual backing. No, boy, it can never be like her. The spirit of the prophets dwells with the prophet. The spirit of leadership rested upon her. Otagoria of Maazị Ekpa for no merit. One of the skills. One of the ability to communicate. We had the reba. Her communicate to go to you. I don't think. This happens when a person naturally gains influence within a group by demonstrating strong leadership qualities like problem solving. She has been demonstrating strong leadership qualities. That was why Maazị Ekpa appointed her among many. That was what made her to stand out among many. Wetra Maazị Ekpa ji were that convinced to the point go and tell her to make sure that she protect the mandate. Go and tell her, when you tell her the mandate, she will understand. Because Maazị Ekpa saw her as a woman that have leadership skills. Let me take that again. This occurs when someone is chosen by an authority figure to take on a leadership position, often based on their experience, qualification, or potentials. Let me take another. Emergent leadership. This happens when a person naturally gains influence within a group by demonstrating strong leadership qualities like problem solving, communication, and the ability to motivate others, even without formal title. To motivate others. Let me take this part again. This happens when a person naturally gains influence within a group by demonstrating strong leadership. This woman has been demonstrating strong leadership right from Mazepa here. Yeah, with Reggie, we have no problem like Germany. Mazepa sent her to Germany. And when she returned with her report, unbiased report, the Pastor Rose that was pushed out by the gangsters planted in Germany to overthrow her after Dr. Ngozi Orab visit on Germany. She delivered her unbiased report to Mazepa. Mazepa looked at that her report and they reinstated Pastor Rose in Germany. So she has been displaying leadership qualities, leadership skills, problem solving capacity. So let us now go. Communication, the very, very important. If you're a leader, don't debunk anything, leave them or let them continue to talk. Think it go already. You will debunk communication. Communication. You must have the ability to communicate. Let me take it again. This happens when a person naturally gains influence. To some of you, laugh at a lot. You gotta go. Dunamis charisma. On a make you stand out. On a make people will want to hear from you. On a make other people, they will feel intimidated. Dunamis charisma. You gotta go. It will make you to stand out among many. Let me take it again. This happens when a person naturally, because she always come out. That is because she is naturally gifted, naturally endowed, or broken nurse or doctor, practicing. This happens. Natural because some people because of her. They lose their job. The reason you lose their job is because she is naturally endowed. This happens when a person naturally gains influence within a group by demonstrating strong leadership qualities like problem solving, communication, and the ability to motivate others, even without a formal title. However, that woman you bro chikinchi by sepenyi pa. She is naturally gifted. You got to go now. Naturally gains influence. Natural. I got I know. Ereta na anyofu. Esute nemu. Akota aria na mpeteri. Abataria na saga. She is naturally endowed with that influence that will make you to feel inferior whenever she appears. Natural. Okay, let us go. No, the Kakasalana boss, Nadia comes. But before we go to this, let us listen to this. Careful lamentation. Remember, Elisha asked for double portion. But here, Ngozi Orab asked for nothing. But because she is naturally gifted with this influence that made her to stand out among many, problem-solving ability, capability to make sure that she have this leadership oral all over her. That was why Mazeba Shoptaria or na abu problem solver. Abataya nemu akotaya nasri. Listen.
I beg.
No.
The truth is that
No.
go ahead.
Okay.
Saboteurs. Yeah, ownership Biafra, go ahead.
Now wait on, please. For some time now, I cease coming on space, speaking on one thing at a time. Yes, we are doing the needful. I congratulate you all that they have been doing what is needful. But sometimes on this space, we need to look at sometimes on what people are saying and the reason.
No, they don't need to look at what people are saying. Why are we there? They have told him not to debunk anything. That as long as he continue to shout money, man on ground, that in the here with ego, because this was not how Mazeba fought and defeated IPOBDOS. So with Diako Oji, he cannot succeed. Don't stop telling him to debunk. Stop telling him to listen. What is he listening? Oji go to run the government on his own. So why will he listen? Let me take it back. Pay very close attention. Unbiased analysis. Here.
Saboteurs. Yeah, ownership Biafra, go ahead.
Now wait on, please. For some time now, I cease coming on space, speaking on one thing at a time. Yes, we are doing the needful. I congratulate you all that they have been doing what is needful. But sometimes on this space, we need to look at sometimes on what people are saying and the reasons of what they are saying.
Public opinions matters a lot. We're having a struggle like this. If a lawyer run away with ego, public opinions matters. Allegations upon allegations. You refuse to debunk. You refuse to say anything. And in the Igbo, si no barankete kwerekwe, yet Igbo onye Igbo. Iwankete ikwerekwe. Let's continue.
Analyze it very well. You see, education is not about going to school. Put these things in when sometimes after we finish on spaces, let us go home. Let the government go home and play all these things we've been doing for the past.
Who is the government? Who are their government? Oyekala government. He don't have the backing of the spirit. Or men are going to Uficha no go hit maka Biafra. Uficha no go hit. Uficha be. He cannot have the backing of the gods of the land. Ospasi me let 100 years for the fact no me into ancestors aka Biafra amaria under Efromen into Munda aka Biafra ma ancestors so ma mde mmụọ mara olufa ndị mmụọ ma na fa emego ntu amaka the struggle on the abunde yachi
5 years or the past 3 years and analyze many of them and see where we are making errors unknown to us. It's just like what Sister Helen is saying. You see, Simeon Ekpa, our Prime Minister, will not give order again now where he's on detention.
You have to be dragging the woman out. Let the ex-wife continue speaking. Can we find a can give all man order again?
There are another man standing on his behalf. Which
on whose behalf? Well, I have made a mistake and took it back. On whose behalf? Point to add on whose behalf? Let's continue.
Let us go home. Let the government go home and play all these things we've been doing for the past 5 years or the past 3 years and analyze many of them and see where we are making errors unknown to us. It's just like what Sister Helen is saying. You see, Simeon Ekpa, our Prime Minister, will not give order again now where he's on detention.
Did he give order for you people to do election and appoint another leader? He did not. Did he give order for you people to raise memo after 2 days he was taken in? The answer is no. Did he give any of you order to redeclare Biafra in Finland? The answer is no. You are not in the government. you are on your own. Can not bag it. Because honestly, I ain't fall back. Ever I ain't already, like United States of Biafra, say I ain't fall out of bridge. Tinker. You people are not with the government.
Another man standing on his behalf, which need, take the word, which need to make a law or a command on what is happening right now. If this woman standing on this ground, making all the comment and are still using things that are related to the government, and the government has a embassy, because those.
You need to go and Google surrogate, the meaning of surrogate. Let this brother only see Biafra, let he hear. Go and Google surrogate. Can you got that English?
Reliance office are embassies, and we have gotten our license to go further in assigning some countries to put us into.
How many countries called the ground in recognition? But Madam, you must bow is send it even to Canada, or send the other to Canada in recognition. In recognition. Recognition. How many countries could send the recognition paper? Money. With ego men on ground. Even have it easy law men on ground. A defeat here. How mabatazie with shatter. A defeat where hala shatter. How was the saga complete saga? Or the kele defeat as a saga Hebrew apa. Or the kele defeat hadia. How mabatazie bagala how omonya hana kocha. That is how confused they will continue to be. Let's continue.
Some places there are men who are doing their work. Therefore, they should do what is needful. And what is not needful, which Biafrans know that this man is not contributing to any BLE, but she's making you understand that even you.
How do you know that the woman is not contributing? How do you know? How are you sure that men on ground don't know her? How are you sure that that she don't have anything, she don't know anything about men on ground? How do you know? How do you know that when Mazepa was here, that Ogenkere actually have a contact of men on ground? If not that he stylishly, that was why I had to wear poor gang with Ndene men on ground. Someone I had there, I got here.
Who are saying you're contributing to BLA? What are you been doing? You guys are doing nothing. Nobody's giving command. Nobody's giving any fucking command.
How do you know that they are not giving command? Okay, for the problem. How do you know that your PM is not giving command? Your acting PM may be giving command and you don't know. How do you know? But you say that he have contact with men on ground. Lawyer about everything. Lawyer about contact with men on ground. And you are here saying that he is commanding nothing. He is not giving instruction. He came, bro. The truth of the matter, well, on ground we're called now. Mbadabayin we're called. Mbadabayin we're called. Okwanya babata na afia. Eputara na afoge. Kan na agwage. So mbadabayin we're called. So in a field command. In ronya obrele on ground. It is 70 siga command agene. Ifuko si ade. Mbada olo mne called. Anambaro we're kosi wede. And the Anambra state government, can you imagine the evil that men do? Hotel, Kena Agbade, laying with 30 graveyards, Nime Hotel. In Irahona, a big idiot save. Izokuzio Magezoki in a hotel without informing anybody your location. Abiakuna Hotel, you will sacrifice. Hotel Odinoba. 30 graveyard being here. This is what Ndibo is doing to their fellow Igbos. That some things Landebani is equally contributing to it. Oh, Fulanio, Hotel Abonibo, Hotel Abundibo, let me operate. Shrine say Abundibo, graveyard 30, Anya de Niolene, Bumma 30. How many are we? How many are we? Graveyard. Ali Igbo nwe ka ọ dị now. So a man expect any magic yo maka onye pụtakwa afia. So uche gị ka nna agbago. If you is well on ground, he said isi command ya ifuko osi ade. Obo mgbe niile men on ground. Oh mmadụ ka ha bụkwa. Ha bụ split. So he said isi I forget. Can I buy Negent?
Command. Something needs to be done. We are not fools. If they are doing are sitting over there doesn't know what to do, they should step down and let people want to do one thing and let them do.
Let him step down so that you can equally give the other. Ground record. Can I bag it? Oh, my ground the idea way. Anambra state government into total cleansing. Kidnappers, car snatchers, total cleansing. Umu dibia okite. Ije feel on when I 70 signals and what dibia ne follow you. You got na ije ne akwara ne beze why na magadi 70 ne follow you. Can na bago. So Anambra record kidnappers. Imagine ebe nwere 30 graveyard na nke abokwa n'ime ofia o kwa na hotel. This is the evil. Ndebe anyị ụfọdụ ndebe anyị na commit. Na ndebe anyị ka ọ dị ọbụla not. Ọ dị ntu ala obodo bongo niile nke be ndị Yoruba bụ a na-egburu isi steady. Onwe a na-akpọ ya skull harvesters ndị na-egburu isi mmadụ. Na-ebugara isi. So ọ bịago to the point ebụla all over the obodo onwere ozi ife ejiri ozu mmadụ kpọrọ. The insecurity adigo this strong na ozu mmadụ na obodo bongo niile onwere ife ejiri were kpọrọ. Mana on ground me ka ọ dị. Let's continue.
Do it. Enough is enough. If they don't know what, go and tell the APM that the Biafran says, if you don't know what to do, step down. Let me know what to do.
Us Oge Nkere, obviously what to do. That Oge Nkere should step down. And he don't have the backing, the hands of our ancestors. The hands of the gods. That immunity. He is on his own. And sorry to say this, for the fact no way that backing of the ancestors, that double portion, for the fact no way anything with him is equally on his or her own. No coverage, no immunity anywhere. Because they are fighting a woman under immunity, a woman under unction to function. They are fighting her. They are fighting the woman under grace, under the coverage of Mazeb and Joko. Under the coverage of Mazeb and Joko. And Mazeb and Joko is operating under the coverage of Trinity. He is speaking for now, present generation, the past generation, ancestors, and we are here steady, and the future generation. So by that instruction of Mazeb and Joko, surrogate, he have transferred that Trinity to her to function. Manoya nkana bazi discovery mba. So obroni you anything to do with Yama. Leruanya before ga war jump maka iwoji He can na way. Continue. Ozioma nke Chineke anyị na-ezi ọma anyị na ya 1 naira. Na abụghị super chat anyị na-receive here. Ndị Chukwu ji arụ ọrụ here.
I support you, Ngozi. Enough of this. What this woman is doing.
We are not playing anymore. We are not talking with anybody. Let them step down and let us do what we need to do.
Step down.
If you feel that you cannot.
Emebege, masigo step down. Inwe big.
Handle it. You feel like she needs to handle it. Let her handle it. If she cannot handle it, someone is there to handle it. Something needs to be done.
If you cannot handle it, allow her to handle it. Makonwe the backing, the instruction from a man that I said that is operating with Trinity, pass that instruction. Automatically it becomes law.
Enough is enough. Thank you very much.
If they have told me that they cannot publish the text message, but this woman is using that text message to be ruling her own cabal.
And you did not want to ask them, why are they not publishing the same text message? They just caged your mind. Why are they not publishing the message? Why is it only Dr. Ngozi Orab that is publishing the message? That is because the message is against them. If it is not against them, let them publish it. Let them publish it. He can tell you that he spoke with Mazep for 30 minutes, but ordinary text message he cannot publish. He can go as far as bringing Mazep as ex-wife, telling you how he told Ngozi Orab on social media, you believed, but they don't want to share text message to you. Can they reason? They can go as far as bringing Mazepa's ex-wife to convince you, but text message that may be against them, they don't want to share it to you, and you are not thinking. Share the message, let them get it. I na your brain, your medulla. Oh, of course, he told you that they don't want to share anything, but he can tell you that he spoke with Mazepa for 30 minutes. He can go as far as bringing Mazepa's ex-wife to come and speak to you, to convince you on why you must fall back. I don't know. Propaganda for like IPOBDOS. Let's continue to listen. Let's continue. That is because the love have blinded their sense of reasoning. That is the honest truth. Let's continue.
What kind of thing is this one?
What kind of thing is this one? What the one no Chicago? What kind of thing is this one? Now, not be juju be that. They can tell you, they can go as far as bringing Mazepa's ex-wife la media, but they don't want to share that text message. What kind of thing is this one? I just took it back. It's like I'm now falling in love with this my analysis. Tinker.
If you feel like you cannot handle it, you feel like she need to handle it, let her handle it. If she cannot handle it, someone is there to handle it. Something needs to be done. Enough is enough. Thank you very much.
If they have told me that they cannot publish a text message, but this woman is using that text message to be ruling her own cabal. What kind of thing is this one?
What kind of thing is this one? Hey, I just mistakenly took it back. Oh, chai. Let me see.
We can't use anything from PM, but this woman is using that text message to be ruling her own cabal. What kind of thing is this one?
Any message.
We cannot use text message, but she's using the text message.
They can do other things, but anything coming from PM, they should not put it in public.
This is the problem. They can do anything, but anything coming from the PM should not come to the public. But they are bringing Mazepa's ex-wife to the public. But they don't want to share that text message with you before. But they can go as far as to bring Mazepa. So that message is more powerful than Mazepa's ex-wife. How up on the camera. And they don't want to reason. Let's continue. What kind of thing is this one now?
But this woman is using something coming from PM now.
We cannot put anything from PM. We can't use anything from PM.
Their mind. Madam bow, Madam, you must bow. Bring it out. There is confusion already in their midst. That is because they don't have the backing of the Trinity. They don't have they are not taking any instruction from Mazepa. Continue.
Any other thing that the government want to do, they can do it, but anything coming from PM should not come in public.
But you can bring PM's family to the public. But you cannot bring mere text message. Mere text message. You cannot bring it to the public. But you can. So the text message is more powerful than Mazepa's ex-wife that you people brought to the media. In the really, what a change.
So
the government, our government doesn't post anything from PM. If she wants to put anything she feels she has as an evidence, please let her do it. Let her do it. But we don't contest. Let us do what is needful.
Eba kebe no wejide ha la ha man publish here, but na ha jeje kpotam hunye Mazepa to convince them to fall back. But that text message, they don't want to share it. What is the content of that text message that made them not to share it? That should be the question. And you must force them to bring that message out. Maybe that is where your deliverance will start from. Immediately you saw that text message now, you receive your double portion immediately. After that text message,
what is needful is what we want. And that is why sometimes Biafrans are saying we should not discuss about her, because we feel that we are not doing anything. If one thing can be done, one thing, just one thing, let her provide the evidences of her using just ordinary logos. Then we'll give her the go ahead. Right. She doesn't provide it. Let them be put on check. Are they not staying abroad? We guys stay in homeland here. They are pushing us. What about you people abroad? Oh,
on your kind of homeland. Only your man now. On a homeland. Let's continue.
Something needs to be done. Something needs to be done. Let the government listen very carefully. If they don't know what to do, let them go and play all the steps you have been playing every day and stop playing with us. I beg.
The truth is that some of all these people making all this noise.
Let us hear the second part.
Everybody wake up. That there is the BLA. Are we playing? We're declaring that what were we saying? All of us were saying refund. Make Nigeria feel the pain, and then people are talking, selling. You don't. How are people deliberating what she's saying or what? Let there be actions in the land. The men will start funding. If they start funding, they start action from the 1 week. See where that money will be coming out.
Okay, he want them to start action before the fund to come. Yeah, but I suspect is here suspect. Nega or the account like for that reason. Now I'm until action video and action video now we record because on TC affair. I am there action no action no mana leruanya before ga maputa ijikwele maka ihe a na-ekwogara na social media ebe a were TC n'ife mara isi ya uche go ọkwa gị on ground uche go ọkwa gị kwa freedom fighter amakwa lerukwa anya. Let's continue. Hey, I just mistakenly took it.
Let there be actions in the land. The men will start funding. If they start funding, they start action from the 1 week. See where that money will come.
No action, no money. That is it.
I mean that. Men are keeping quiet because there's no reaction.
Onwe ko obodo de. So you need the money. Ka eri godi nke bu nni. Bigatago. Any ego ka eri nni. Dozikazi ya ihu ọrụ. Bigatago.
We are Biafrans. We have common sense. People should understand that very well. If there is action in 1 week, I tell you the gospel truth. You will see that you won't get men to come and fund.
Oh yes, sorry, can I say something?
Yes.
I think he have the control of men on ground. That is what he told you. That was why they were shouting money. What is holding the action? Is it that he don't have the contact of men on ground again, or men on ground are not obeying him again, or there is no fund for men on ground? Yeah, about Juju that is begging for an answer.
This is the end of our news update. Please click the icon on the top right corner of your screen to watch my next video. You will enjoy it. I will see you again in my next update. Enjoy the rest of your day. Goodbye for now.